Rolling audio. Take one.
Oh, wow.
That's how you do it. You heard the volume?
Okay, I don't want bloopers. Let's just go.
They want the bloopers. You guys want the bloopers.
I want to get going with this important news.
But you felt the power of the clap is what I'm saying.
Yes, honey. Yes, honey, I felt the power. Hey guys, we want to wish you all a happy holiday season. And as the year comes to an end, we wanted to share with you 5 inconvenient truths for meat eaters that we know to be facts about animal ag purely because we ourselves have observed them over the course of the hundreds of vigils we've attended these last 6 years of being vegan. Now, these are things we've witnessed firsthand with our own eyes, or even learned from workers, truck drivers, etc., as it pertains to the reality of killing animals because humans like the way they taste.
Number 1, factory farmed, organic, free range, grass-fed, what have you. All of these animals go to the exact same slaughterhouses. In past debates and even in casual conversations when we're talking to non-vegans, we have heard time and time again how much meat eaters only buy free range or grass-fed, organic, locally farmed, etc., even though we know for a fact that well over 90% of all meat consumed comes from factory farmed animals, yet no meat eaters buy that meat. However, what nearly all meat eaters don't factor in is the actual slaughter of the animal, regardless of how good of a life you think they have led.
We have personally witnessed trucks stacked with thousands of innocent baby birds, all from various farms, some local, some free range, some organic, and guess what? The same forklift comes for every crate of terrified chickens and the same blade gets slashed across their necks. Then their chopped up corpses get put on one of a few trucks, some with the organic logo and some with the free range logo. It doesn't matter the quality of life an animal lives if their fate leads them to a house of slaughter. Just replace a victim here and see if your actions are aligned with your ethics. If you treated a puppy really, really nicely and let her run around outside all day long, fed her incredible food, played with her and gave her belly rubs, is it then okay to murder her at 6 months old just because you want to eat a dog sandwich? What if we put it into the human context? Is it okay then? And that leads into number 2. All animals killed for food are babies. We weren't exaggerating or pulling that 6-month number out of our butts. Pigs are actually 6 months old when they are needlessly killed for bacon, ham, and other carcinogenic processed meats. This is something else most meat eaters have never thought of. How old are animals killed for food?
Yeah, non-vegans like to think that if an animal has led a good life, then it's okay to kill them at the end of their life, failing to realize, of course, that farmers decide when the end is, and it's decided when the animals are born. Now, this isn't because farmers are evil animal abusers. Well, I mean, they are animal abusers, but they're not necessarily evil. They are simply supplying a demand. Meat eaters demand easily accessible, cheap, and abundant amounts of meat in the grocery stores, in fast food restaurants, etc. So just put yourself in the farmer's shoes. Would you allow an animal to live 10, 15, or 25 years? Feed them, house them, provide medical care for that long? Or would you try to feed them and house them as cheaply as possible and kill them as quickly as possible to ensure the largest possible profit?
Yeah, it's simple economics. That's why dairy cows are murdered when they are 4 to 6 years old, after they've had 4 to 6 children stolen from them, and their bodies can no longer produce enough milk to keep up with demand. That's why beef cows are murdered at 1 to 2 years old. That's why pigs are murdered at 6 months old, and that's why chickens are murdered at 6 weeks old. We have watched countless innocent babies get ushered to their death, and there hasn't been a single legal thing we've been able to do to stop it. We're allowed to document, take photos, videos, even give water to these poor babies, but were we to try to stop the trucks, the police would side with the baby killers, not the vegans.
All animals killed for food are babies, and that also includes the ones who are still in the womb. Many dairy cows arriving to slaughterhouses are pregnant. You know why we know this? Because occasionally cows will give birth at the slaughterhouse. And we've been privy to a couple of rescues, as we are sure some of you may have been as well. We've also seen the dumpster, where they dump the fetuses that are forcefully aborted from the mothers as they are sliced apart.
Number 3. Animals on slaughter trucks are in horrifically unsanitary conditions. Routinely, in truck after truck after truck, we have witnessed animals slathered in their own feces, blood, urine, and vomit. Again, no matter how they were raised, all animals are herded onto metal box trucks or thrown into crates and forklifted onto flatbeds for their first and final car ride ever, to a place that any reasonable person would very well consider hell on earth. Can you imagine being inside a metal box with 200 other human beings? No air conditioning, no heating, nowhere to sit, nowhere to lie down, no bathroom, no food, no water. That is what animals endure every day. When they finally arrive at the slaughterhouse, whether it's been a 3-hour ride or a 3-day ride, they are always filthy and terrified. The odor could send anyone reeling.
Animals, just like us, also get car sick. And animals, just like us, need medical care. We can't tell you the number of animals who arrive with respiratory illnesses, injuries, tumors, prolapses, and it's very common for some to even be dead on arrival. And we consider them to be the lucky ones. Again, non-vegans don't often consider the fact that in order for an animal to be consumed, they need to be killed. And in order for them to be killed, they need to be trucked to a slaughterhouse. And in the hundreds of vigils that we've attended, we have never seen anyone, vegan or non-vegan, look at the animals in these trucks and think, this is a good thing that we are doing. Number 4, this is happening every day in many cities, in many countries, all over the world. The number 1 form of violence being committed on planet Earth right now is animal farming, and it's not even close. 70 billion land animals and more than 2 trillion marine animals are murdered every single year for humanity's taste pleasure.
Counting only land animals, if we killed each other at the same rate as we kill animals, we'd be extinct in 41 days. If we included marine animals in that equation, it's more like 2 days. We have seen thousands upon thousands upon thousands of animals arrive at slaughterhouses in various parts of the world, and yet every truck filled with unique individuals is just a drop in the bucket in terms of the scale of animal cruelty being committed on a daily basis. Think about this. We're going to assume most non-vegans would want to end human trafficking if they could, or spousal abuse or child abuse. Most people aren't really sure how to take action in a meaningful, tangible way on these issues, but everyone agrees that these things are bad. However, simply buying something else at the grocery store or choosing something else on the menu is, in fact, a real, meaningful, tangible action you can take right now to stop animal abuse.
I mean, has there ever been an issue of social justice this easy to combat? Ending animal abuse is 100% within our grasp if we choose to care, if we choose to actually live in alignment with our values instead of living like the hypocrites most meat eaters are, and that we used to be, claiming to be against animal abuse while at the same time funding it. Whether non-vegans choose to acknowledge it or not, this is happening, and you can stop it.
And 5, yes, you are paying for all of this to happen. As we said, you can stop it, but until you do, you are paying for it. As we discussed, animal farmers are supplying a demand. Of course, they're looking to spend as little as possible in order to make as much as possible, but it is the consumers of animal products who are piloting this ship.
Yeah, as consumers, we have all the power. You may not feel like it. You may feel like these giant corporations and companies, they have all the cards and they make all the rules. They don't. You do. If everyone stopped shopping at Target tomorrow, guess who would go out of business?
Yeah, and if everyone stopped buying cheese tomorrow, guess who would go out of business? It's really easy to understand. It's the simplest thing in the world. Farmers markets, restaurants, grocery stores, fast food establishments, they all only sell what you buy. Meat eaters don't like to believe that they are paying for individual bad apple farmers to brutalize their animals or violently throw animals into crates, but you are paying for these animals to be objectified. And when animals are objectified, they are seen as objects. They are viewed as products and commodities, not as the sentient, living, feeling beings that they are.
Simply look at all the lawsuits and all the marketing attempts by meat, dairy, and egg companies to try to slander plant-based products or dissuade people from buying them. Like, you can't call it meat, you can't call it milk. Vegans comprise less than 5% of the population, and even that is enough to have scared these massive industries. And that's because they know that they are powerless when the consumers simply start buying something else.
So why not be that consumer? Why not choose kindness? We're told that the holiday season is a season of giving. So why not give compassion and choose vegan?
As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and a huge special thank you to all of our patrons on Patreon. We appreciate you guys so much. We can't tell you how much it means to us that you support the channel. And if you are not yet a patron on Patreon, but you like the channel, you like what we have to say, if this channel brings value to your life in some way, consider donating on Patreon. The link is in the description below.
And do check out our Etsy store for a holiday discount. Just like our Patreon donations, everything we make on Etsy goes directly into our animal rescue fund.
We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
When the waves come crashing in, but you can't feel